Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today, I'm not unboxing anything. Today I'm drilling into the core reason that I established this unboxing channel, which was to share things that I got to touch day to day and reflect back on the 25 years that I've been in this industry and look at some of the things, the modern things, that represent some of the first really brilliant branded products that I struck on some of my first years in this industry. Today we're having a look at the NAD T758. Now it's a V3 point something, doesn't matter. Its main new feature set isn't really why I'm so proud of it. The reason we're discussing it, the reason we're drilling into it today, is that NAD were the first company to start realistically rating their amplifiers. They called it full disclosure. It meant this is rated at 7 by 60 watts. Now that feels tiny. It feels like it couldn't run anything. But when you realise that their rating is into really low total harmonic distortion, 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz, with all channels driven at the same time in that frequency, you realise just how powerful this actually is. When you're delivering 7 channels of amplification at 60 watts constantly under maximum load, and delivering it easily, effortlessly, with all of the character and sonic capabilities that NAD deliver, you realise that a movie soundtrack never has all of those channels running flat out all the time, and that the real world performance compared to its other members in the industry is so much bigger. In fact, to highlight it, this unit in 4 ohms, its dynamic power is 243 watts. That gives you an idea of how silly some of the wattage claims are for its competition, compared with the real-world full disclosure that NAD was so proud to discuss and introduce 2.5 decades ago. So it's brilliant to see. Nevertheless, let's revisit this modern version. So, NAD T758. It's a 7.1 amplifier. Now that means you can run 5.1.2 in an Atmos environment. You can run 5.1 in a Zone 2, although the Zone 2 capabilities are basic. They're an analog sort of thing, music. It's got all of the features that, oh look, it's part of NAD's Blue Sound ecosystem. So they have a BluOS sort of thing you can plug in. I'll show you that at the back. So it's quite modern. It's got a lot of compatibility and other things you can see in the stickers. But sonically is so musical and brilliant value because of its ability to do so much in the home theatre world, so much in the music world, and combine the two to give you a really, really nice musical presentation of an AV receiver. Remember, most of the reason we get emotionally engaged in the movie is the music, that stirring sound, the way that journey, you know that things are about to happen, you mourn with the people as the music changes into something more somber. You name it, everything is very much focused around the music soundtrack. So NAD have got that right, even though this is a relatively modest priced product. So really quickly, the modern interpretation that we now have, simple design, very, very straightforward. Basic on-off, little LED there. Navigation, by the way, you've got sort of up, down, left, right to navigate through all of its menus. The on-screen displays, look, it's more than basic, but it's rudimentary. You've got the ability to bring up menu and the listening modes, so surround modes. Big comprehensive display and the ability to change sources. In the setup of the amplifier you can turn off unused sources, which is kind of cool. So if you're scrolling left to right, you've only got 2 or 3 things plugged in, you can cycle through very quickly. The volume control is a rotary encoder and there's a little front panel for some basic AV inputs. One of its advantages is it's not very deep. By the way, it's really nuggety, it's really heavy, and again it highlights just how real world the amplification is that is on board. Spinning it around, we see part of what we actually see a lot more of in some of the other models. They're modular design as far as some of the emerging things. Let's be honest, with any credible theatre amplifier, the only standard that might evolve is the HDMI or digital ins and outs. So they've got these boards allowing all sorts of ins and outs depending on how you might need to. And it's there that the USB is utilised to a little breakout box sort of thing to give you the BluOS and streaming. It's got all of the analog inputs that you will need, and then analog outputs for all of its channels, and as I said, the 7 binding posts for the speakers. There's control, and there's RS-232, and there's a power, and over in the boring part there's a scannable whatever. Okay, so there we have it. It's NAD's T758, and the reason I bring this up, the reason I share it after 25 years, is that NAD was one of the first brands to truly explain the realities of what some of these myths and legends were being created with some of its competition as far as the wattage that they were claiming versus the real world full disclosure policy that NAD delivered, rating this at 7 by 60 watts. So there we have it. NAD T758, celebration of a brilliant product here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.